Greetings all, welcome back to another episode to my Let's Learn series. Last time we were in Driftfall, we went up a few more levels, went through Driftfall 4 to 6, and fairly long episode. We had a couple vaults in there that took a little bit to deal with. Had a lot of tough monsters as well sometimes. Alright, well at this point we're going to go back to the Market of Spellblaze. So I prematurely entered here a while ago, right before we entered Dykara, because I was looking for Pharaoh's Ash. This dungeon has elementals, as you can see, much like the ones right here. These are lightning ones, but there's also fire ones as well. There's also the elven mage to sort of deal with, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. So I sort of ran away from here initially because I was lower level than these guys, and there's basically this guy here sitting on the entrance. These guys are, this guy right here is like a Slipofist. He's like a dream type of guy, and he could be very dangerous as a result. There's also these guys on top of me right here I have to deal with. What we're going to do initially, we're just going to do this and do this. We're just going to do a whirlwind, kill those guys. We're just going to shadow step this guy. I'll note, by the way, if I kill this guy quick enough, he loses his thought form because he can't hold it because he's dead. So that's done. And welcome to the Market of Spellblaze. So Market of Spellblaze, as you can see, has most of the elven type of guys that may be fought in the Dark Crypt. And it also has those elementals. This dungeon, in a way, is easier than the Dark Crypt, though, because there's a lot more terrain to sort of hide behind and make use of. And you're generally not going to get killed by the RNG, so to speak, as a result of, this crap happening. Also note, this is kind of like the Rhaloran Camp. The enemies that you find will sometimes have to fight the elementals and such, so if these guys have lower health when you initially find them, it's because they ran into some guys that were, enemies. These guys are the Rhaloran faction, as you can see. These guys are the Rhaloran faction, so they're basically from the Rhaloran Camp, these guys here. But much like before, they're also fighting against the enemy elementals and stuff that pop up as well. So we're just going to do this. Rush you. And this guy looks like he's a little bit injured, so maybe he fought against an elemental or two or whatever. One of the reasons that the elementals at the start weren't fighting those other guys was because, I was there to sort of, say hello. They targeted me first as a result, but as you can see, there's enemies like this. This guy's from the enemies faction. And as a result, he would be fighting the Rhaloran faction before fighting me. Also, there's also multiple lava in this one. It basically blocks movement. You can't run through it or anything, for obvious reasons. It's molten. There's an elite. We'll kill him. Alright, the Market of Spellblaze is actually a very quick dungeon. And I'm actually going to note, I'm only here to pick up a little bit of easy experience. I'm not actually here to do much else besides that. The reason we came here then for the easy experience was just because we're getting close to the master. I think I sort of mentioned that before. We're sort of constrained on the dungeons we can enter, so I'm coming in here to sort of pick up a little bit of experience. But Market of Spellblaze number 2 is where you actually find a boss for this instance. And I want to note, I actually don't plan to fight the boss this episode around. We're just going to casually explore around the second instance here, and as soon as we get sort of close to him, we're basically just going to run away. He spawns on the other side of the map, so we're not there yet. And we can just kill off the other denizens that are in here. These, Rhaloran guys, and as such, there's not going to be too much of an issue to basically go through. Okay, let's go like that. We're going to maybe do this. We'll maybe drop this on. We're just going to run up. I'll note that this guy, he was moving a lot slower, so he didn't really get a chance to fire off his stuff as much. And he's dead. Okay, I actually want to go through manually exploring at this point. We're sort of near the edge over here, so I basically want to find the edge. And we'll activate this, and there's 2 of these guys here apparently. Alright, so here's the guys I was looking for initially, the Pharaohs. Sometimes you'll find Pharaohs in here, and Pharaohs, of course, are where you find Pharaoh's Ash. You get that for... I actually got that for Grimly already. If I want to hear a Grimly for his Elixir of Focus required Pharaoh's Ash to complete it, so that's where I basically got the, I was basically going to come here to get it. You can always be sure that Pharaohs are going to spawn in this dungeon, so if you're, looking for that key ingredient, that's where you'll find it. Alright, so I'll note, by the way, there's some lava over here. This lava is where you'll basically find a boss. So this area over here is where I don't want to go. That's where the boss is. He's going to be very viewable if I run toward him. But what we're going to do, we're just going to manually just explore around him. So I'll go this way a little bit and deal with all his enemy friends. I'll note, by the way, I'm sort of exploring to the black here, but I feel fairly confident I'm able to just deal with anything at this point because it has such high damage output in these guys. Like this guy here. 2 hits, dead. Okay, let's go up here. There's a shadow. Okay, we've actually run into ourselves a doomed enemy up here, so I have to sort of watch that. Doomed enemies are... Well, he died instantly, but... something I have to be worrisome about, right? Okay, we're just going to go this way. By the way, we just had a special event that's happened. So sometimes, randomly playing in the outdoor dungeons like Marcus Spellblaze, Old Forest, Dakara, you'll have meteors crash into the ground. So as you walk, you notice a huge rock falling from the sky. It crashes right next to you. So the sky is falling. Saw a huge meteor falling from the sky. So that's just random. Sometimes it'll happen. There's also a chance you can witness it, but you won't necessarily witness it. Now, I want to be very careful. These guys, some of these guys, the man-worm here, this guy has a very special ability, and he doesn't apparently have access to it. Alright, so these guys have to watch out for. So, if you were playing an Archmage, these are some of the Archmage starter dungeon type of guys. The Losigoroths are basically ranged type of enemies that basically will rip you to pieces, and the man-worms here, they're also quite, dangerous to fight. So these guys fire off Void Blast. They're very slow-moving projectiles, but when they hit like mad. And, they can hurt quite a bit. So boom, 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 and all that. Kill that guy, kill you, kill you, kill you. Step away, kill you, kill you. They're all dead. We saw a meteor. Now, if you saw a meteor and you're a magic type of character, kind of like me, because I have high magic stat, I'll note that at this point, just before I, just forget about it, there's a project called Meteor Crash in the sort of like magic type of talents here, or I guess it's willpower rather. When casting damaging spells or mind attacks, the release of a willpower can call for a meteor to crash down on near foes. The affected area is turned into lava for 8 turns, and the crash itself will deal fire and physical damage. The meteor also stuns affected creatures by 3 turns. The damage scales with spell power and mind power. So this is like sort of like a special talent that can work both with the anti-magic faction or the arcane faction. Basically, whenever you use your spell or mind attack type of abilities, you basically have a chance to call forth a meteor to basically smash into your foes. Think Meteo, so to speak, from Final Fantasy or anything like that. That's basically what this sort of concept is. It's a very epic talent. We won't be getting on this character, but yeah, we'll point out just so you know about it. Alright, this guy. He's gonna get rushed and killed. And we're just gonna walk up here. And sadly, there's the boss. So this guy here, he dark portaled me and I sort of ended up right next to him. So since I actually have view last time, I'll actually just show you what this guy's all about. So here's the Grand Corruptor. He's the boss of the Mark of Spellblaze. I don't want to fight him just yet. He's actually probably very terrifying if you fight him for the first time. He has a special ability called Fearscape. Fearscape is this very special ability. It basically costs quite a bit for him to basically use. But when he activates it, he will send you to Fearscape with himself. And it is not a friendly instance. You will basically be taking damage every single turn that you're in Fearscape. And at the same time, he will be there healing from such damage. So it's a very epic type of fight, so to speak. This guy is very, very tough. And even though I'm sure I can kill him right now, I probably don't want to risk trying to go after him. So we're just going to kill this guy here. And we're just going to sort of run away. I don't know if he saw me, but I don't want to risk being Fearscaped just yet. So we're going to actually just move away from now. Oh. I hit the Explorer. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to basically keep going this way. I'm basically just going to go back to the entrance. And where did we enter this dungeon? There. Okay. So that's just a sort of quick look at the Mark of Spellblaze. Eventually I'll come back to that guy, that Grand Corruptor. He's the boss. But we're going to come back to him when I feel like it. And to give you a sort of idea why I'm sort of avoiding him now, there's basically some talents, kind of like these ones here, called spell talents. So spell conveyance, spell divination. There's spell phantasm. There's also spell temporal, and I also have like celestial light here. The reason I'm going to be just holding off on meeting that guy is because I want to invest some into like celestial light down here. I want to invest into phantasm and temporal a little bit more. And there's a very special reason for doing so. And I'll basically tell you about it when we actually fight him with those talents. So, back to the Ruined Dungeon is where we're going to go now, because, you know, that's what I said we were also going to do last time. And that's just basically the mark of Spellblaze a little bit there. So, prematurely in the Ruined Dungeon, I basically escaped because there's a worm that walks. And I was like, worm that walks, dangerous, run away. And there's a very good reason for it, because they are dangerous, so you should run away. But now I have this maxed out Guardian of the Wood, and Guardian of the Wood basically gives me 75% disease immunity. The worm that walks, the primary way that he'll damage you is through diseases. So if you have resistance to it, very like this one, at 75%, it's going to not hurt you as bad. But you still want to be very careful of this guy. He's going to be a threat. Alright, so he's here. We're going to step here. I'm going to activate both this. And I don't think I can sadly put him where I want him to, but whatever. We're basically going to activate this. We're going to activate this. We're going to activate this. We're going to activate this. Yeah, I'm literally activating all my defensive talents pretty much right from the get-go. And yeah, you're even going to activate this. This guy, the thing about him, the thing about the worm that walks that makes him dangerous is that he's got high burst damage capabilities. And that's in part due to his disease, but also due to his talents. So when fighting him, what you want to do is burst him down faster than he bursts you. And we're going to basically start the fight with a blind side. And I'll note, by the way, whenever you hit him, he basically has these like sort of like carrion worms spawn from him. So he basically will spawn these very quickly. And you'll notice I basically ripped down his health quite a bit there. But basically, he's just, you know, kill him as fast as possible and then be done with him. Ugh, these guys. Alright, that wasn't, you know, as epic as I expected you might have expected it to be, but he could have been more dangerous if I gave him more chance to be dangerous. I just didn't give him really much of a chance to begin with. Alright, we're just going to go through the rest of these guys. There's a massive vampire and other stuff down there we'll have to deal with, but wait for this cold flames to go away. Okay, kill him. Now, I get the feeling that the Guardian knows I'm here, so most likely it's it's a jelly type of enemy over here. It's a rare. Oh, nope, it's this guy. Okay, so we got ourselves a rare vampire, and he's level 34. So yeah, we just encountered ourselves this guy here. He's a brawler vampire. He could be a little bit dangerous. Step here. Nope, but he's got anti-magic disruption, so he's trying to use his ruin, but he can't because of anti-magic forces. If you try to use his vampiric talents, like vampiric gift, he has a chance of failing them, but apparently he didn't, so you didn't feel that. Activate these, activate that. We're just going to freeze him. I'm going to blindside him. I'm going to dirty fighting him, and then we're just going to do that, and he's done. Okay, so he's out of the way. We're just going to basically do the same to the other guys. Hey, look, there's another Molitor. Hello, Molitor. So yeah, they can, you know, it's random. Whatever can spawn in here is random. Sometimes you'll get, you know, the very rare, tough stuff like the Molitor or whatever else to pop up. And there's this guy here. And we got ourselves a Guardian Mindslayer Ghoul. We're just going to rush him. Done. Alright, we've done it. We've basically gone through the Ruined Dungeon. Yeah, I know, it's very quick. We were just basically finishing this off. Alright, so once you basically go through the Ruined Dungeon, there's basically these orbs here. These get lit up as you kill off the Guardians, you know, in the various rooms. Once you kill them all, you basically go down to these like lore pieces and you basically look at them. So this lore here says, the river flows in a bed of stone. What these lore pieces are doing, it basically giving you hints on how to solve the riddle. These orbs, and there's a Zarin Bear apparently that I missed. These orbs basically correspond to different elements or like themes. So this one's like seeds. This one is air. This one is dust, flames, water, and magical energies. These can be different, and the lore can be different as well, but this is what they are for now. If you click on the wrong one if you click them in the wrong order, like say I click on this one, this is in the wrong order, so, the orb seems to react badly to your touch. There's a high streak. As a result of basically touching it, a bunch of random guys spawned, and we'll basically have to deal with them. Kill those guys. Kill you. Kill you. So yeah, those guys basically spawn because I basically touched the wrong one there. But if you look at the hints, they'll basically tell you what you have to press. So the first hint was the river flows in a bed of stone. This orb here is drips of water, so if you touch it, the orb glows brightly. So that's correct. And if we go over here, this one was dust. The orb glows brightly. So basically got 2 hints from that Percy lore. Water was the first hint, and the floor bed of the river. Bed of stone is like, dust. That's for earth. Dust is earth. This one's the second hint. The feather flies gently in the wind. The tree roots run deep. So air and life, or trees, or seeds, or whatever else we want to say of them. So this one was seeds. So that'll be the one after. That's dust. That's air. And this one is seeds. And again, if I touch them out of the wrong order, guys will spawn, but I'm not going to do that. I'll probably show you off what it does. The Eldritch forces burn all that lives. So Eldritch and burn. So magical and fire. So magical. Nope. Yep. Alright, so the orb glows brightly, and there's a lot of crack coming from northern central chamber. Once you basically open it, you basically spawn the guys. And sometimes there'll be guys in here. It looks like we actually have a major demon in here. And we have ourselves Alchemist and Luminescent Horrors, and God, there's a ton of crap out here. Okay, so we have access to another Luminescent Horde I have to deal with, and I have access to another Alchemist, it's an Alchemist Archer over here I have to deal with. And I don't know why, but I think we're actually fighting against an Oozemancer in here somewhere as well. Okay, we're going to basically just back off from these guys. No, we're not. We're just going to... We are going to basically start off the fight. We're going to try freezing these guys and burning them. I just want to kill off like a little bit here before I sort of book it. We're going to... I'll note, by the way, I can't teleport in here, but I'm not in there. I'm actually down here, and I can actually teleport out here. What we're going to do, we're basically just going to fight these guys a little bit, and we're just going to teleport away when I feel like it. So, drop that there. We got the Minotaur popping up on us here. And we're just going to deal with him. Ow. I got hit by Searing Light there, so that's happening. We're just going to do this. Kill his Golem. And one of these guys popped out, so we're just going to... Let's throw a rock at him. He fired off his beam. We're just going to do this. Back up. I'm waiting for this guy to sort of step forward a little bit. And there's his buddy, the Alchemist, behind him. We're going to try freezing them. Kill this guy. You're done. This guy tried to use a special talent into size little icy tomb there. He's almost ripped through this, so what we're going to do... We're going to activate this right now. We're going to use activate this, and I'm actually going to shadow step this guy. And I got a really lucky shadow step because I'm still behind a sort of wall. I'm just going to kill him. There's this guy here. We're just going to hit him with a stun. A flurry to kill him. Notice that these Luminescent Horrors are a lot weaker than the guy that was in the Sheratuv Temple when I fought him. These guys are basically... what about them? They're basically... if you find Luminescent Horrors, the only reason that guy that I originally fought was tough was because he was higher level than me initially. And just because he had 2 very powerful classes sort of, thrown in at the same time. These guys here, they weren't as tough because they weren't, anywhere near, they weren't in the proper classes sort of deal with me. Alright, so found this here. Found this here. Sometimes you can find good items in a ruined dungeon. This is like a really good place to go for items along with the ingredients I basically mentioned some time ago. But sadly, it doesn't look like we found very good stuff. The stuff in here is just, whatever. It's vendor trash, more or less, sadly. So yeah, we're basically going to vendor all that and just get rid of it. Oh well. I might want to keep the initial Trine, by the way, just because it has 100% knockback immunity. But I found that knockback immunity is not really anything special. It's nice, but it's not really needed, so you won't really worry about it. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the Ruined Dungeon. I'll note, by the way, there's a piece of lore here. It basically tells you about the Infinite Dungeon. So, the deceptive god Rhalkur fled before the wrath of the godslayer Brenzir, and his dark blade, Madrif. But though he fled to the depths of the dungeon, he came to an end. Seeing himself cornered, he used his power to delve deeper into the ground, laying traps and summoning enemies to confound his enemy. But Brenzir would not be lost. He pursued his prey ever on, hunting him ever deeper, and Rhalkur fled further and faster, delving into phantoms beyond knowledge, with the godslayer always behind him, hunting relentlessly. And so the chaos continues. Over centuries beyond count, Brenzir has never stopped to rest or sleep as he pursues his prey through the ravages of infinity. And though death would be welcome reprieve, he thinks only of the hunt of vanquishing the cowardly god. Rhalkur continues to run, and he does not take a breath that is not a gasp, and he does not take a step that is not a flight. And every beat of his traitor's heart is pounding in terror as he flees deeper and deeper till the ends of time. This passage seems to point to the passage there, and it seems to indicate there's no possible exits. You should not enter it. So this is a way into the Infinite Dungeon. This is a very special dungeon. If you come to this dungeon, you basically play an infinite type of roguelike. Some roguelikes that other games, they'll basically have these sort of infinite dungeons. You keep going, so to speak. But there's basically one here in Tales of Maj'Eyal. If I enter this, I basically get off the campaign for Tales of Maj'Eyal and go in there, so we don't do that. But that's basically where you can go to get the infinite dungeon if you want to. So that's the infinite dungeon. You can go there if you want to basically play infinite dungeons, so to speak. It can be kind of fun. Alright, so there's the Ruined Dungeon out of the way. Now, at this point, we've basically gone through the Market of Spellblaze, we've gone through the Ruined Dungeon. I think that's going to be enough for this specific episode. I was just planning to make this a very quick episode going through the Market of Spellblaze and the Ruined Dungeon. And what we're going to do next is basically continue through Dreadfall a little bit more. I'm going to basically go up through only 2 levels for the next time we basically go through the video for here. We're basically just going to go through the instance 7 and 8, and then after that we're just going to go clear out the other dungeon I've yet to basically show you, the ancient Elven ruins, and then we'll come back to fight the boss here. Because pretty much at that point, there isn't a whole lot that you really need to do, and there's not really a whole lot I can do other than fight the boss here. So that'll be that when it comes to it. So for now, we're going to basically leave you on Dreadfall 7, and then we'll come back to basically show you instance 7 and 8 of Dreadfall. So take care.